Good day, Madam Ranjit. We are from Group 2. My team members consist of me, myself, Zishi, Noor Ida Yasha, Mesbah Habib, and Alicia. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to walk you through Yusuf's portfolio, which showcases his growth and learning across 4 key developmental areas, which is physical development, social-emotional development, creativity, and language skills. I'm happy to share Yusuf's progress in physical development, which we have observed through structured activities, checklists, and anecdotal records. This area focuses on both gross motor skills like coordination and balance, and fine motor skills such as cutting and hand control. One of the activities that stood out was the obstacle course, which took place outdoors. The course was designed to encourage hopping, balancing, waving, and jumping. He hopped through the hoops, walked along the balance beam, and zigzagged through cones with excitement. At one point, he wobbled slightly on the beam, but quickly adjusted himself and continued with a smile. He was also supportive of his peers, clapping and cheering for them as they took their turns. It was wonderful to see his physical progress paired with such a positive attitude. For fine motor development, Yusuf participated in a creative activity where he was asked to cut out shapes and build a robot. He showed very good control with scissors, holding them correctly and making precise cuts. As he assembled his robot, he thoughtfully arranged each piece and explained his choices. He named it Robot Hero and added fun details like buttons and a triangle hat. His hand-eye coordination was clear and he stayed focused from start to finish. Another meaningful experience was the beanbag toss game, where children had to aim at color hoops placed at different distances. Yusuf took this on both focus and enjoyment. When his first throw missed, he paused, thought carefully and said, "I need to throw a bit harder." His next toss landed in the hoop, and he celebrated with a cheerful grin. This moment captured his ability to self-correct, adjust his physical effort, and remain motivated. He even helped a friend figure out where to stand, showing leadership and teamwork during play. From our checklist assessment, Yusuf consistently demonstrated age-appropriate physical development. He completed complex motor tasks with confidence, showed control in cutting and assembling, and improved his aim and coordination in throwing games. We also documented 2 anecdotal records to support this observation. In the first, during the obstacle course, he moved with confidence and adjusted quickly when challenged. In the second, during the beanbag toss, he observed, reflected, and adjusted his technique independently. This demonstrates both focus and developing motor planning.
Hello, good day everyone. My name is Noor Ida Yasha binti Muhammad Tayyib and my matrix number is MC230924556. I am teacher Ida and I will be presenting on the social and emotional development of our students, Yusuf Nur Islam. At 6 years old, Yusuf is showing steady growth in understanding emotions, forming relationships and managing social situations positively. One of the key activities we observed was a puppet role play in a cozy corner of the classroom. The scenario involved 2 characters wanting the same toy. Yusuf chose a raccoon puppet and participated eagerly. He demonstrated empathy and problem-solving skills by saying, "We can take turns. I'll play with it after you," and also suggested maybe we can find something else while waiting. He used expressive voices and even encouraged quieter peers to join in, which shows both emotional maturity and also leadership during play. Another activity was the group tower building, using wooden blocks during morning circle time. This encouraged collaborations, turn-taking, and group decision-making. Yusuf contributed actively and guided his peers saying, "Let's make a strong base first so it doesn't fall." Even when part of the tower collapsed, he responded with calmness and optimism. "It's okay, we can fix it, let's do it together." This demonstrates his resilience and cooperative attitude. Yusuf also completed a feeling charts drawing where he explored four emotions: happy, sad, scared, and proud. Through these, he connected personal experiences to emotions. For example, he shared, "I was happy riding my scooter fast in the sun. I was sad when my balloon popped." This activity helped expand his emotional vocabulary and showed his ability to reflect and articulate how he feels in various situations. Now, I would like to explain the social emotional development checklist for Yusuf. This checklist is used to track important behavior that help us to understand how well a child is developing socially and emotionally in a preschool environment. Based on our observation, Yusuf has shown encouraging progress in the following key areas. First, in terms of cooperation with peers, Yusuf consistently shows positive interaction during group activities. He takes turns, share resources, and listen to others' ideas respectfully. For example, during the tower building activity, he contributed suggestions and calmly worked through challenges with his friends. Second, Yusuf demonstrates empathy and understanding of others. He is aware of how his friends feel and respond in a thoughtful way. During puppet role play, when another child was upset, Yusuf suggested a solution and offered to take turns, showing a strong sense of emotional awareness. Third, we observe Yusuf growth in emotional regulation. He is able to manage his feeling appropriately. When the tower collapsed, instead of becoming frustrated, he said, "It's okay, we can fix it," which shows his ability to stay calm and find positive ways to respond. Fourth, Yusuf is also developing well in forming and maintaining friendships. He initiates conversations, invite friends to play, and make sure others feel included. He becoming more confident in group settings and enjoys working as part of a team. And finally, he is able to express his feelings clearly. Activities like the feeling charts drawing help Yusuf connect emotions with experiences. He openly shared moments that made him happy or sad or used appropriate language to describe his feeling. Overall, Yusuf's checklist reflects steady progress across all these areas. He is growing into a socially responsible and emotionally aware child who interacts positively with his environment. Let me now share a real-life example from our observations log on 22nd of July at the block corner. That morning, Yusuf and his peers both reached for the same blocks. Instead of reacting negatively or getting into a conflict, Yusuf calmly said, "Let's build something big together." They then began building a structure together with excitement. And Yusuf even praised his friend's idea, saying that was a good idea to use the square block. This moment shows his ability to handle social situations positively. He used cooperative language, made space for collaborations, and showed respect for his friends' contributions. Our suggestion from this observation is to continue providing group-based building tasks as they allow Yusuf to further strengthen his teamwork, communication, and conflict resolution skills in a natural setting. Another example was observed on 25th of July at the art corner. Yusuf was drawing and created a sad face. When asked about it, he shared, "This is how I felt when my cat was sick." Then he added a happy face and said, "But now he's better." This may seem like a simple drawing, but it shows that Yusuf is able to recognize and reflect on his emotions and express them using the art. It is also indicates that he is beginning to understand that emotion can change, which is a valuable part of emotional development. Our suggestions based on this moment is to encourage more drawings and storytelling activities. This allows Yusuf to explore and communicate his emotion more deeply, building his emotionally vocabulary and confidence in expressing personal experiences. This reflection shows his developing emotional intelligence. He is learning how to process and express both negative and positive emotion. In conclusion, Yusuf demonstrates excellent progress in his social and emotional development. He engages positively with his peers, expresses his feelings clearly, and navigates group situations with empathy and confidence. These skills will support his continued success both in school and also in his future relationship. I will continue to support him with more collaborative and expressive activities. And I encourage you to talk with him at home about his feelings and day-to-day experiences. He is a joy to have in class, and I am very proud of his growth. Thank you so much for your attention.
Hi, I'm Mesma, and I'm going to walk you through Yusuf's work samples in the domain of creativity. So for his first work sample, we had abstract painting. So in this activity, Yusuf used red, blue, and yellow tempera paints to create a colorful abstract artwork with broad brush strokes and layered colors. So the objective of this activity was that Yusuf could explore color mixing. He could also express himself through painting and develop fine motor skills. So, from my observation during this activity, Yusuf showed strong engagement and motor control. He was thrilled by color changes, exclaiming, "Look, orange!" when he mixed red and yellow. And his artwork reflected his joy in the process and growing coordination. Moving on to Yusuf's second work sample in the domain of creativity, here we have collage construction. So in this activity, Yusuf used pre-cut shapes, glitter, and fabric. Using these, he created a collage representing sun, flowers, and leaves. So the objective of this activity is that he can develop fine motor skills, planning, and spatial awareness. And from my observation during this activity, Yusuf carefully selected, arranged, and glued materials. He shared, "These are my flowers, and this is the sun." He explained each of his artwork and expressed himself properly. The result showed thoughtful design and quite a lot of precision for his age. And for the third work sample, here we have storytelling through drawing. So in this activity, Yusuf illustrated a three-part story of a boy and his dog visiting the park using simple sequential drawings. So the objective of this activity was to promote sequencing, creative thinking, and visual storytelling. Through my observation throughout this activity, I observed that Yusuf narrated his story as he drew. So every time he would be drawing, he would be narrating it as well. He also showed strong idea to image connection. So when he would think of something, he would draw it. His symbols were simple yet clear, and he confidently shared his work with peers. Now moving on to the checklist that I made after the activities I went through with Yusuf, I observed 5 skill types in him: fine motor, creativity and imagination, language and communication, and cognitive development and social and emotional development. So throughout these 5 skills, I observed that in the first skill, which is fine motor, he could hold the paintbrush with a comfortable grip, showing good control during the whole painting activity. In the second skill tab, which is creativity and imagination, Yusuf could abstract paint in a free form without having to copy from another painting or another image. So it was not a copy of a specific object, it was all from his own imagination. And in the third skill, which was language and communication, Yusuf could verbally describe the story of the boy and his dog as he drew each panel of his story. In the fourth skill, which is cognitive development, Yusuf arranged the various shapes in his collage to form a recognizable garden scene showing spatial organization. And the last skill type I observed, which was social and emotion development, I observed that was clearly proud of his finished painting and collage and enthusiastically presented his story to his peers. Moving on to the anecdotal records. So the first anecdotal record that I wrote throughout my activity that I went through with Yusuf. So in the first anecdotal record, which was observed on 28 July at 10:30 a.m. in the painting corner, I observed the domain of creativity, in which I observed that Yusuf mixed red and yellow paint excitedly, noticing, "Look, it's orange," he exclaimed. He then repeated the process with joy, exploring colors intentionally. So, in this anecdotal record, I would suggest that I could offer more color mixing activities for Yusuf to deepen his understanding of color theory. In the second anecdotal record, which was observed on 29 July at 9:15 a.m. in the art corner, I observed that Yusuf glued blue paper on green fabric and added googly eyes and shared, "It's a monster who loves the ocean." So, a suggestion that I would like to make after this record is that I could encourage Yusuf to tell stories about his artwork to boost his narrative skills even more. Thank you, that's all from me, and I would like to pass this on to Elisa.
Thank you, Teacher Mesbah, for explaining about Yusuf's creativity skills. Now I'll be taking over to explain more about Yusuf's language skills. I'll introduce myself as Teacher Elisa. Now I'll be explaining to Yusuf's parents about his language skills. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Amakanski. I'm Teacher Elisa here. I'd like to share this lovely piece of Yusuf's writing from our language class. After a discussion about the weather, the children were asked to write about personal recall. Yusuf chose to write about going out in the rain with his umbrella. He wrote the sentence, "I went out in the rain with my umbrella," and added a sound effect like drip, 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 which shows he's starting to think creatively about how to make his writing more expressive, and also use sequencing words like then, helping him structure his story clearly with a beginning and an end. Next up, this activity focused on developing expressive writing and story structure, and Yusuf showed great progress. He was engaged throughout and confidently recalled his own experience using phonetic spelling to sound out his words. It's wonderful to see him becoming more confident and expressing his ideas in writing. And now I'm going to explain about Yusuf's descriptive writing samples from our All About You unit. For this activity, he described his tiger face slippers using sensory vocabulary, particularly focusing on touch. The goal was to help students use more adjectives and sensory details in their writing. Yusuf did a great job. He used the phrase "feel like hugs on my feet," which shows creativity and personal expression. Then, his writing is becoming more expressive and we're seeing good progress in his grammar and spelling development. Overall, this piece shows how Yusuf is growing as a writer. Right now, I would like to share about Yusuf's storytelling book based on Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Yusuf drew a picture and retold a part of his story on his own words. This helps develop fluency, sequencing, and comprehension. In my observation, he wrote Goldilocks sat in the chair, and it worked. While the grammar isn't perfect, it shows an early understanding of past tense and great use of phonetic spelling in both age-appropriate. His drawing also clearly matched the event and showing strong story understanding. And now let's go through Yusuf's literacy development based on his checklist. In speaking, Yusuf uses a rich descriptive language like soft slippers and drip drip drip, which shows he's confident expressing ideas. In listening, he retells stories like Goldilocks in the correct order, including key events and characters. This shows strong comprehension. In reading, Yusuf consistently tracks text from left to right and top to bottom, which is essential for early reading and writing. As for writing sentences, this is still emerging. He tries to connect ideas but sometimes keeps linking words. We're working on improving structure. In writing spelling, he uses phonetic spelling like writing "pori" for porridge. This is age appropriate and shows sound letter understanding. Overall, Yusuf is making steady progress. We'll keep supporting him until building sentence structure and sequencing. Lastly, I'd like to share some quick observation about Yusuf's language development. On the 18th of July, during writing time, Yusuf wrote, "It rained, I wear my boots, then go home and drink hot milk." He's starting to connect ideas and uses phonetic spelling, which is great at this stage. We are also supporting him with sentence starters and simple connectors to help his writing flow better. Then on the 24th, during story retelling, he said she go inside and eat porridge, then sit on the chair and it broke. He used full sentences and corrected himself, which shows great progress. He really is a fast learner. We'll keep using story retelling and role play to build his grammar and confidence. That's it from me. Now I'll pass it to Cz.
As we come to the end of the portfolio presentation, we like to take a moment to reflect on Yusuf's journey. This portfolio captures not only his steady progress across all developmental areas, but also the joy, curiosity, and confidence he brings to each experience. It highlights his unique strengths, his creativity, and his growing ability to express himself in meaningful ways. We are truly proud on how far Yusuf has come, and we are excited to see all that lies ahead as he continues to grow, learn, and shine. Thank you.